2 programs, 2 levels, 1 system, and this month,
Everything starts.
Welcome to 3 over 2 Hoops. I'm Coach Jessica Deliba.
I'm Coach Bob Belf, and we would like to introduce you to the system.
Welcome back to 3 over 2 Hoops. I'm Coach Jessica Deliba.
I'm Coach Bob Belf, and we are going to review Jess's second week of play this week because she had some huge differences from her first week, and we talked about those last episode, and then she made some huge strides this week. So let's jump right in because I know you're excited about this. You had 2 wins this week, and you had a change of how you played, of just what your team responded to. Want to go ahead and comment on what you did?
Definitely. I will start off by saying we did set a school scoring record of 103 points, which was very exciting. My top point guard, Harlem Simpson, she scored a career high of 45 points, followed it up with a 35-point performance, almost a triple-double. So very, very different week compared to last week. 2
elite performances there, without a doubt.
Yeah.
But overall, not just simply about Harlem, overall, tell me about what your team, how they responded.
I think the biggest thing, yes, the scoring records are nice, the career high for her, but I think how we played was completely different. I think we've always believed in what we did. I think it just finally, some pieces clicked for us. Shooting percentage definitely helped. I mean, when baskets are going in and you have production from players off the bench and more players in double digits, I think that contributes a lot.
The intensity across the defensive spectrum changes when you're making shots.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the energy compared to last week, completely different.
Unbelievable. So you played 2 respectable teams. It's not like you played the Little Sisters of the Poor. And so give us what were the final scores, and then grow from how things went offensively. Let's talk offense first.
Mm-hmm. So our first game was 103-45, and then the second game we followed up with 92-61. Both were respectable opponents. It definitely wasn't the Sisters of the Poor. But I think it was, the biggest thing was production from everyone. Everyone came in and contributed in a different facet.
How did you do in shot creation? Because I thought in the first week you were very quick to take shots. You were very quick to take things that maybe not were balanced or the best look. I mean, it was a good shot, let's say, but they rushed it.
Yes.
So how was the comfort level there?
Yeah, I think we realized playing fast, but playing under control while playing fast. I think it wasn't just pull up and shoot the first shot you get. We were actually making the extra pass. I think this past week we spent a lot of time on, within practice, we worked on passing a lot, because if you get a steal in transition, you got to pass the ball up. If you create a shot, you got to work on your passing. It's not just being able to shoot. You got to give your scorer the right kind of pass.
It's a difficult thing to learn as well, because it's playing slower, but you're still playing fast.
Yeah, and based on our statistics, I would have to look back, but we still came close to the same amount of shots that we produced in the first week, but just our selection of shots was better. I think the girls are finally starting to get a rhythm of what to do.
And let's talk about distribution of shots. So I felt your first week, kids were just getting shots. And it seemed like in your second week, the right people were getting shots.
Yes, I agree with that too. I mean, even girls that we knew could score from last season, I think in the beginning of the season, or in our first week, they weren't the ones taking the shots. It was almost like a free-for-all at first. And then I think now people are finding the way that they can score within the system, within their skill set that they have.
Let's talk about your offensive aggression, because I know that's come up with a couple of people I've talked to off camera, obviously. Just attacking. did you feel that you were still under control while staying aggressive, or did you feel the pace slowed down?
I think it did. No, like in terms of slowing down, like to the outside, I don't think it looked like we slowed down. But I think,
Here?
yes, exactly. Like I think there we were able to like feel comfortable in the speed we were going at, which I think the first week, everything was just like, oh my God, this is fast. I mean, that's the feedback I had from my players after that first week, is they were like, wow, that was fast. That was one of my players said that was the fastest game they've ever played in.
And it's a blur. It like goes by so quickly that kids don't even realize it.
Yeah.
As a coach, you're like, this is taking forever. All right, let's shift it to the other side of the ball. Let's talk about defense. I think there's some things we definitely want to talk about in a future episode, the press, because I think there's some emphasis going on in the press that needs to take place. I'm very, very pleased with our team and where we are in the press. But in your case, to be quite honest, it looked like bumper cars in your first game. You had one couple kids that just were like all like pinballs.
Yeah.
And then how did you feel comfort-wise, like, again, settling into the pressure?
Yeah, we worked on stuff in practice last week. I think that's the biggest thing. We broke down each parts of the press, especially the biggest thing we noticed in the first week was the back of the press. We were just giving up wide open layups. Our players weren't in the right positions for that, and we adjusted that. And then even the front of the press, I mean, when we played our second game, we had so many fouls in that game that the pace slowed down during that. And I think we're learning. We like to use window washing. I stole that term from you. Window wash. You don't stick your hands in the cookie jar, you know?
Yeah, trying to steal the ball from in the trap is a huge opportunity to get fouls.
Yes.
Okay, but you don't have a lot of size. So your tallest young lady is one of your less aggressive young ladies. Mm-hmm. She's a perimeter player. So how did you straighten up the back of your press?
I think we explain the roles that each player is playing. I think playing more and more games, we're starting to figure out, my staff and I, we're starting to figure out who plays better where. And I think those are important pieces. Someone we might have thought, oh, they're great back there, or as an interceptor, and we need to change things around. And I think we made a lot of adjustments within that.
Oh, I know with our team, we're having the one young lady with an ACL has really thrown us around that same thing, right? Like all of a sudden moving the chess pieces around. And I don't think I've really felt comfortable with certain things until the last 2 or 3 games where certain people needed to play. And I think that's a huge part of it. Once they get there, then it's a matter of who plays with who.
Yes.
Who's comfortable with who and contribute to each other instead of running into each other.
Yeah.
I think an indicator for some of this is free throws. When you start doing things on the floor, you might shoot better, you might get more layups, but when you go to the free throw line that first week, it looks like you're throwing darts. It's like they can't make a free throw and you can't figure out why. And it's just because it's so hard to get the body and the mind to settle in and make a free throw,
yes.
Which is why it's so effective against other teams. The number of layups they miss, the number of free throws they miss is just because they're not used to playing at this speed.
Right.
So it's never a bad thing to remember what happened in your first week because your opponent is always facing that. Your opponent is someone that has to go through those things. But if your shooting percentage on the free throws tends to rise, you're just like, okay, kids are getting it.
Yeah.
How did you feel in your subbing? Like, how quickly you needed to sub, how long you needed to go, shifts that went too long. How did you kind of work through that?
I think we had, where it really starts to get difficult is when our players get into foul trouble, because now you're shifting pieces around. It's funny because I thought that maybe when I first started this, my players might complain about the playing time or think about it, but now they're like, wanting to come off because they need to go stand by the water cooler and drink water, like it's very interesting because that was, I think, one of the biggest parts that I anticipated maybe having an issue with, and not one person has talked to me about that yet, because you never know in high school. But
no, I think at important times there's certain kids that want to go, but yeah, they want to be subbed off. They're hurt.
Yeah,
and they feel it.
It's like they are figuring out like this whole myth about, I need to get into a flow. Clearly they're fine, because I've had now three players that have each hit 5 threes.
Nice.
So it's like, clearly it's not about getting into a flow. Like, they're fine.
Let's talk about one of those players without using her name. In the first week, she was
non-existent.
Lost. But very unsure of what was going on, very much hesitant, very like throw the ball, and she never saw it one before, and then explain what she just did in your last game.
Career high, and hit 5 threes, and incredible on defense. I didn't know she could play defense that well. It's like the energy of the game and playing this style is bringing like a whole level of different player.
I think the one thing, and not to step on you, but the kids that are from 6 through 12 improve so much in this system because they play. Mm-hmm. They're playing, they're getting as many minutes as some starters sometimes. So all of a sudden, if you starters, who cares? But I think all of a sudden your depth grows as your season goes, and if someone like her goes 19 points, where in the first week she 19 times she was trying to tie her shoes. Right. She was lost. Yeah. And it's kind of cool, because if you can get consistent effort all the way through the roster, it changes the dynamic for you as well. Like, the evolution of players can grow so fast, then now it changes how you're going to mesh everything.
Well, I think the other thing that it makes it challenging for is our opponent. Because, okay, yes, everybody knows who Harlem is, but now you got this one, now you got this one. Which one are you going to stop? It changes it completely, because if I was playing traditional, yes, we're running a play for her to get a 3-point shot off a double screen or a stagger or an elevator screen. I mean, of course it's going to her,
I think also, like, since you have a dynamic point guard, someone who will probably be at the divisional level, that is the focal point defensively for everyone else, is to shut her down. And what I saw in your game the other day when I was watching was that if she decided she didn't want to score, she could still direct all this, and you have people that can score, and all of a sudden now she doesn't have to be a 35-point night.
Well, I think the thing that people might not understand, or like you hear scores like, wow, she must have been shooting it every time, and it's not even the case. She might have shot less threes than somebody else on my team. Like, it's picking your moments and knowing when it is your opportunity, because she's shooting at a great percentage right now. Like, it's not like, she's shooting 10% and, chucking out 40 shots a game. Like, that's not at all what it is. And I think people's perception might turn into that, like, she must be a ball hog. But it's furthest from the truth. No,
because she's almost triple-double right now.
Yeah.
And you can play her at so many different positions. When you start the year, she's my point guard. Now you can play her on ball, at the safety, at the interceptor, and if she gets the ball off the glass, great. But we're ripping it and going, and all of a sudden she's the recipient in so many different ways. It's gonna force some teams to really have trouble with her, period, and that's kind of cool. Yeah. All right, so across the board, obviously, as you look at week 2 and all the good things, it forces you to go back and look at 1. Mm-hmm. So as you restructure that, like, did you evaluate week 1 properly?
I think
is that the right word?
I think based on, now there's no doubt that our opponents in week 1 are better opponents than week 2, but we still could have lost the games in week 2 based on the errors that we made in the first week. And I think we did break it down well. I mean, we rewatched the game film. We worked on stuff in practice. The girls got more comfortable within the system and what we're doing. I mean, I'm going to keep saying it. They've bought in. They're all about it. And I think based on what happened and the drastic change, I think it's turning some heads slowly. I still don't think we're being respected, but
I'm not sure you will. Like, you could have a player like Harlem score 30 every night, and people are going to slough that off, that it's for whatever reason they can come up with, that she's really not that good, or she's plays in the system, or she's your point guard, she has the ball in her hands all night. And those are people who've never seen you play.
Right.
And so all of a sudden that's going to change. But I think as you evaluate what happened, those were losses, and they were good losses, if you will. Mm-hmm. They were good. No one ever wants to lose. We're all competitive. But they were good in forming you to get better at this, settle into this. And now you have a nice Christmas break, and you head into, a non-league game, but a league team from last year. Mm-hmm. But you have in basically league play, right, for about a month.
Yep.
No disrespect again to your league, okay? But I think you have the ability now to grow even further. I don't know, how are you addressing the league? That's a better way, rather than me saying, hey, you're going to do that. How are you addressing the league? Because
I have gone out to watch some of our opponents this past week, and I mean, I'm taking it as serious as any other game we play, because last year, we pretty much, at the beginning of the season last year in league play, we lost every game. And then the second point in the league, we ended up beating those teams. I think we split with everyone. Last year, to give context, we were predicted to be in 6th place out of our league. And we're in something called the OAA White. There's 4 different divisions. Red is the highest, red, white, blue, and then gold. I mean, we have high aspirations this year, because you win your league, you move into the higher phase for the following year, you could say. I mean, I plan to make a statement. I think all of our players are on board. Like, we're taking this seriously because we want some respect. We only won 6 games last year.
Right.
It's not like, all of a sudden we're good because we got some transfers in, what some of these other high schools around the area do. Like, no, we worked our butts off last year. We worked our butts off in the spring and summer, and I think the girls now deserve to show how hard they worked.
Let's talk about preparation of your opponents. The one thing you and I had talked about this where I am, at junior college, since you helped me there, is I think teams with the short amount of time to prepare for a team can really focus on one area. And they say, okay, we're going to do this against them. And there were comments, like we spoke to a coach last night, and her comments were, here's how we broke your press. Mm-hmm. Silly of her maybe to say so, in the sense that you might play her again down the road. But they're 7-0, and they're a good team, and that was interesting to listen to, mm-hmm. Her perspective. I don't know if I'm asking this question. I don't know if you felt it yet, because I don't know if the 4 teams you've played have necessarily prepared very much for what they're about to see. But where do you see these teams trying to prepare for you?
I mean, right now, I don't think anyone is really preparing for us, to be honest. Based on what I've seen them playing against us, it's like they didn't know what we're doing. Yeah. I just felt that playing against them, I'm like, did you watch any video on us? Like, did you think you were going to walk in and do something? I mean, I guess, I don't know. I mean, maybe us throwing some high numbers up now, they're going to take us a little more seriously, or people around the league are just going to say, well, they're not very good, those 2 teams, and that's the only reason Groves won. Must have been a blowout.
So you expect the Well, because we've been talking about this a lot with her, like trying to get you to go through practice and be prepared for something that you may never see. Like, are you going to see boxing 1? Are you going to see triangle in 2? Are you going to see something that they think is going to work? And you're like, I'm not sure that's going to have any effect whatsoever.
I mean, I'm sure teams are going to start asking for film. I mean, I've had coaches already reach out asking me for film, and ask somebody else for it. That's really how I feel.
See, that's where you and I are different. I'd send it to him with a bow. Here you go. Stop it.
They come watch us. I guess it's more of like, I am going out to games to watch my opponent. I'm not just going to beg coaches for games. And I understand that now with technology that's what has kind of come about this. But what happened to the old-fashioned go watch a game, go talk to people, go ask people, go see these kids in person? And maybe it's because I'm at the JUCO level also, and I can use it as recruiting as well for college. But
well, you and I have gone to a couple games this week where opponents that you're about to play have kids that we're looking at. But what I find interesting, now you tell me how this felt. I found it interesting that everybody seems to know who you are now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes, I think the players, because of social media, I mean, we've hired a videographer this season. We're trying to put more content down there, bring attention to the system. Like, this, what we're doing, it's not a secret. Like, I'm not trying to hide it, and I want people to know what we're doing. I'm trying to build our social media awareness. I want to bring in sponsors to be excited about what we're doing, to bring attention, to you. You were at Grinnell yourself. So I just don't think at the high school level there's enough attention on it. And I think now in this social media age, it's a great opportunity. And I like that. The girls I was talking to last night saying like, oh my God, the scores you guys have been putting up. And I was about to introduce myself to one of the, I know who you are.
I know that was great.
I don't know if it was in a negative text or in a positive, but she was smiling, so I'll take it as like, yeah, I've seen your post,
I do think as I look at your team, and I know there's a lot of people that watch what we're doing and say, I don't have the personnel to do this. I don't have the kids that can do this. And while I look at your team, and if you have a nice start in the fact that you had a point guard. Okay. After that, I don't know if there's anyone on your team that you would say that's a system player. That is a kid who, she would just be incredible in the system. And the fact that you're so young, your backup point guard is a freshman. You have 3 freshmen on your varsity at least, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have kids that have never played this. And I think a lot of coaches hesitate to jump into this because we don't have the right person. Find where they fit. Do what you can do. Certain teams press differently because of their athletes or non-athletes. Certain teams go through certain areas. I know point guard play is important. There's no question is the point guard system, because if you have the ability to get the ball certain places. But as you evaluate your kids and say, we put up big numbers in those 2 games. If you had played those two teams, or all 4 teams, conventional, would the result, would you still be 2-2, or do you think that?
I don't know whether we would or would not be, but I mean, the 2 teams that we had 6-footers on their team. My tallest girl is 5'10", so I don't know. We would have to work on specifically post defense and fronting or help side, and it would have been a different game. And I also want to make it clear, like, to the audience, since they weren't there, it's not like we scored these points on runouts. When we scored 103 points, we hit 21 threes as a team. For a high school team to hit 21 threes is not normal. I mean, I think we shot like 64%. Like, it was wild. But
You mean from the floor altogether?
yes, we're not doing it based on just like runouts and like, I mean, there was another team within Michigan that wanted to score 103 points as well, but the score was a little bit different, 103-3. So
There's a run-outs all night. Yeah.
So it's like we're doing things a little differently, and I think that's the biggest thing that people have to see.
I think from another standpoint, you just kind of walked into it too, is the things you don't have to worry about in practice. All of a sudden, the bottom line, do you guys want to guard the post? Well, no, whoever puts their hand up and say, yes, I can't wait to do that. I'm 5'6", let me guard the post. And so eliminate that.
Yeah.
Just, we're going to play at a pace where the post isn't down there.
Yeah.
Or maybe 3 or 4 times a game you might get that situation. But I think overall it just, you now can take specific areas of the game, focus on them differently than playing conventional basketball.
Definitely.
And it's I don't know your kids, I just saw them in practice the other day. They're just smiling and they're having so much fun.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for what you can do in the second semester, in the sense of going through your league and some of the challenges that you have ahead.
Yeah.
You're only 4 games in and you're excited.
Well, speaking of that, what can our viewers enjoy on this next episode?
Well, in the next 2 episodes, one of them, we're going to get someone else on here as an interview. We are trying to get an ex-player from the system to come in and talk. She had played for us last year, and now is at a 4-year. I'd love to hear her comments and the differences as she plays conventional basketball. We definitely want to, in the next 3 episodes, get your point guard on, because I want to hear her perspective of coaches. We think coach is crazy. And then I think we need to break down some things. I would like to talk about the press. That would be one area. I want to talk about a couple other things that are happening right now. So hopefully to just help some other people that are going into this. I think overall, just you make this fit your personnel rather than the other way around. I think most programs could run a version of this and be effective. Certainly, you're growing to it, and I think that's where a lot of these teams could be going. But we can't do this and we can't do that and we can't do this, it's the wrong way to look at it.
I think the biggest thing is, like, after losing how we did last week, I could have said, you know what, I'm going back to tradition. I could have.
Legit.
And I think you have to take a risk as a coach that you're going to do this. It is a risk on your career, per se, if you want to call it that. But listen, we are having fun. My girls are having a great time. The parents, that might have to be a whole episode of itself. My parents high-fiving in the stands. I mean, because I watched the video back. You see them cheering as our girls shooting. They're putting up threes. Like, I'm like, who are you guys? Like,
2 weeks ago they weren't doing that.
No. So
Yeah.
it's the environment has changed, and I'm looking forward to it.
Should be good. I'm excited about the next few episodes because hopefully over break here I know you're taking a little time, but we could go through some stuff. We have to talk about my team.
Yes.
We've won 2 in a row. Things are looking good.
Save it for the next episode,
I will
Coach
save
Belf.
it for the next episode.
So stay tuned, because you guys can see Coach Belf is very excited to talk about his team too. But we thank you guys for tuning in. And as you see, we keep changing the mood and where we're at. Just maybe we'll be coming to a town near you soon. But on that note, thanks again for tuning in. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Leave any comments you may have. And we will catch you guys soon.